very big believer in the core fundamental two commands for Christians: love God, love neighbor. If you're going to boil it all down, love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. This is boiling it down. So I'm very much, and I really, amidst all of the theological disagreements, you really can measure the health, I think, of a religious community by how well they comply with these two things: love God, love neighbor. And if you do not see a lot of neighbor love, if you do not see a lot of care and concern for the people around you, that's a dysfunctional Christian community, in my view. Conversely, if you see a Christian community that is not focused at all on that transcendent supernatural relationship that does exist between God and man, but is instead exclusively focused on the sort of the secular relationships, then it's also missing something very important. And I think of Christianity as a cross-shaped faith. There is that vertical relationship with God, and then there's the horizontal relationship with your neighbors. And because of the vertical relationship with God, your horizontal relationship with your neighbor should be one of love and service.
Can you talk a little bit when you say volunteer and love thy
Mhm.
neighbor? Can you just share a little bit about that? Because I think for
Yeah.
many people, they won't have a concept of what that looks like.
So for me, that's shown itself up in different kinds of ways. So when I was younger, I was a part of Big Brother mentoring type programs where I, mentoring and volunteering with younger boys and from tough, at-risk youth from tough circumstances, trying to give them sort of a relationship and a role model. When I got older, and I did, when I was younger, a lot of homeless ministry work with the homeless, especially in college. But then as we're emerging from that part of life, it's, re-engaging with the community with homeless ministry, for example, here in Chicago. Um, and so basically, or, working with and serving your community in other ways, like working and serving on with schools, school boards, charities, 501(c)(3s, where you're sort of helping sustain them and sustain these ministries that are working in their community. So I've always tried to have that focus where it's not all about me. So for example, I joined the military later in life, and I viewed that as a form of love your neighbor as well. As serving your community, risking yourself for your community. I view that as a form of loving your neighbor. And so I've always tried to maintain eyes, I've always tried to maintain a vertical and a horizontal focus, that if I'm loving God, that means I'm going to love my neighbor. That's what it means. And if I'm not loving my neighbor, then that means I'm not loving God well.